Hello and welcome back to another Shmee video. It is a great day to be a Charlotte Hornets fan. The day following the draft, I didn't make a video last night because I was so ecstatic of all our moves, the trade we made, the draft picks that we made. Oh my goodness, guys. It pays off to be a Charlotte Hornets fan, and I did not see us having such a good draft night. Because, if you look back on draft nights prior, you have the draft with Frank Kaminsky. You have other drafts where we just missed out on players where we shouldn't have drafted so high. And it feels good to actually have a draft night where I'm ecstatic about. And that's tonight. We hit on a player that should have gone in the top 8, top 7. And we hit on a player at 19 who we were mocked at 11. We made a trade that was a no-brainer for a center. And let's dive right into it. I'm done giving out the previews to all these players. So the Hornets drafted James Bouknight at 11. He fell to us so nicely. Players who've been taken before him, were not seen to be taken before him. Davion Mitchell to the Kings makes no sense. The Thunder drafting Josh Giddey at 6, which I don't know why these teams who obviously take players that will be there for him in later draft picks don't just trade back. The Thunder could have traded with the Wizards at 15 and gotten Josh Giddey at 15, but instead they drafted him at 6 overall. But he'll become an asset down the line. It's not like it really matters for the Thunder. Jonathan Kuminga would have been there at 11 for us, maybe, if the Warriors didn't take him. Franz Wagner going before James Bouknight. There was a lot of players that just went up high in the draft, like Zaire Williams, like Josh Giddey, like Davion Mitchell to the Kings, that led to James Bouknight falling at 11, which really helps our team, guys. You don't know how high this player rose in draft boards, and for him to fall at 11 to us is just a blessing in disguise. It started our draft night out really well, and then we traded with the Knicks. I forget what we gave them, but they gave us the 19th pick, and we ended up drafting a young, dynamic, really exciting center in Kai Jones, where, coming out of Texas, he is this insane athletic talent, and it opened the eyes to a bunch of lob threats between Miles Bridges, between Terry Rozier can get up there, and Kai Jones, where LaMelo can just throw it up near the rim, and these players can just dunk the ball. And we were eyeing him at 11, and the fact that we didn't reach for him like we usually do with players, and we hesitated, and that hesitation paid off because we got him at 19, and he fell to us, and players like Joshua Primo, like Segun, like Trey Murphy went up high in the draft, and we got him at 19. I don't know why the Wizards drafted Corey Kispert over him. I don't know why the Thunder drafted Segun over him. But he fell to us. And then if I want to go back into the second round, but before I do that, let's talk about how we got the 37th pick. It's we traded for Mason Plumlee, which let me just read off the trade right here. We traded away the 57th pick, a player 3 picks away from the last pick, for the 37th pick, and Mason Plumlee, who is on a pretty decent contract. I mean, only making $8 million a year, and then he's an unrestricted free agent in 2023. So we have him for 2 seasons, only making $8 million a year. Still gives us about $24 to $25 million left in free agency. For cap space, we can sign a Rashard Holmes, because I know he was seeking $20 million a year. We can sign him. We can sign any center that can be a starting center in this league. I'm not saying Mason Plumlee is not a starting center in this league, but if we can get someone better than him, I think that's great. I think it's a pretty standalone with him and Cody Zeller. I think they're pretty similar players. They play similarly. But the thing is, Mason Plumlee just had a triple-double last season with the Pistons. I'm not saying he's going to be this generational center that we've been looking for, but it's a step in the right direction. Him and Kai Jones, Vernon Carey, Nick Richards, and if we get someone in free agency, that's a pretty good front court that we're assembling. We'll have to see how Mason Plumlee clogs the lane with LaMelo and with Miles Bridges always driving in the lane. But I think he's a good defensive center that we've been looking for. It's a step above Cody Zeller. I know I just called him similar, but I think it is a step above. How old is he? He's 31, the same age as Cody Zeller. Obviously, his salary is not insane, so it's a good trade. And we got the 37th pick, drafting JT Thor, probably going to be a G Leaguer. He is 6'9". He's either 6'9" or 6'11", one of the two. Bigger player, who really showed his skill in college. I heard him like coming out of high school, and he was this really good player. We got him at 37. He's probably going to be in the G League if I'm going to be honest. And then we had one more pick, Scotty Lewis. It seemed like this draft, Mitch Kupchak just looked at all the mock drafts across YouTube and was like, this guy's a big-name player. And it's not like Scotty Lewis is this really good guy, but he has a big name. And coming out of high school, he was really sought after. He spent an extra year in college. He wasn't a one-and-done. He's a sophomore. And we got him with the 56th pick, and I think that's a really good pick. We traded away the 57th pick, which ended up being a foreign player anyways. So all in all, an insane draft for us, guys. James Bouknight will be a scoring guard off the bench. He can replace either Malik Monk or Devontae Graham, whoever we let walk. And I think he's just as good as Devontae Graham right now. I think he just needs some games under his belt. He needs to find his rhythm, and I think he will be as good as Devontae Graham. I want to look up his height real quick because I think he is a bigger. I mean, he's a 6'5" guard, guys. Like, he's not small. I saw a film of him, yamming the ball down and dunking it. And he's just an insane guard that we got in 11. And then, obviously, at 19, we got a sought-after center. All in all, great night. Obviously, there's a lot of memes around Mason Plumlee being our center. But I wouldn't mind him being our backup center, sharing minutes between him and Kai Jones. Kai Jones can learn a lot from Mason Plumlee. He's a veteran. He's 31 years old. He has brothers in the NBA. We used to, the other Plumlee brother used to play for the Hornets. So you got some parallels right there. And Kai Jones can learn a lot from, the consistency over the years. Going from the Nuggets, now from the Pistons to the Hornets, Mason Plumlee, can teach him some post moves, I guess. And if we sign Rashard Holmes or trade for Miles Turner in free agency, I think we're a powerhouse, and I think we have one of the best young cores in the NBA. Thanks for watching, and it pays off to be a Hornets fan. See ya.